own a home or have plans to in the future? Or are you upside down in your mortgage and need help? Tune in right now to the Call Toni Real Estate Radio Show with Toni Patillo and her co-host Carla Dennis. This is where you come to learn about buying real estate. Here's Toni.
Hello, Los Angelinos. I'm your host, Toni Patillo, and you're listening to Call Toni Real Estate Radio here on KEIB AM 1150, The Patriot. Michael Flood, LA Food Bank. Michael is a Los Angeles native. He has been in food banking since 1990, working previously for the Redwood Empire Food Bank and the Costa Food Bank. Michael has served as the Chief Executive Officer of the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank since 2000. During his tenure, the food bank started new programs to increase the food distribution and launched new hunger education and public policy initiatives. Welcome to the show, Michael. It's so nice to have you back. This time you're in studio with us.
Yes, it's great to be back. And I remember, a couple years ago calling in. It was great to be on the show. So thanks for having me back.
Yeah, for sure.
You see it in parents especially. It's that parental sacrifice where there's not enough food in the home and the parents stop eating.
Right.
Just so the little food that's in the home, the kids at least get something to eat. And that sacrifice happens over and over. And you're absolutely right. No one sees that. And, honestly, no one really brags about that.
Right.
Who wants to say, I had trouble feeding my kids over the weekend, right? That's not something, we might share with a close family member or someone to get some help, but it's a really difficult position that people have. And when they often come to a food pantry or another organization, there is a stigma. They're guilty why they're coming, right? It's like, I'm not self-sufficient. I'm having to reach out to someone for help. And by and large, this is a volunteer network. The people are there to help. And by and large, the people who are coming are really thankful that they're treated with respect. There's not judgment, right? It's just, hey, you need some help. There is some screening, some basic screening like any program should have. But really, the goal here is to help people because it's a tough situation for anyone to be in.
Yeah.
The food is coming from farmers, growers, retailers, manufacturers. Here in LA, all the big retailers are supportive, have surplus product that for whatever reason is surplus inventory that they end up donating to the food bank. There aren't too many farmers in LA anymore, so for that product we're working with other food banks in the Central Valley and other places to obtain that product. But just on the distribution side, we're distributing to 670 other nonprofit organizations throughout LA County, food pantries, boys and girls clubs, senior citizen programs, serving people in their local community. So they know what the needs are in their local neighborhoods.
Wow.
You were talking about the volunteer aspect and how there are multiple ways of giving. And volunteerism is huge. Last year we had 33,000 volunteers come through our facility to donate their time. High school kids, college kids, companies, firms. And that's a huge part of handling all this food. Some of it is full pallets ready to go out, but a lot of it has to be looked at item by item. A lot of the produce needs to be handled. So the volunteer component is really big too. But the funding allows us to fund the operation and get this food in and out.
And when the food is coming in, is this food that has to be purchased or is this food that's being donated and gifted?
So 95% is donated. So that's really where this leveraging comes into play and why, as you've seen in the literature, for every dollar, we're able to turn it into the equivalent of 4 meals. The reason for that is because we're really focusing on donated food and we're not paying for the food. And the volunteers also help in that regard. We purchase about 5% of our food. That tends to be more for our kids programs where we really want to control the menu as far as what's going in those food packages. But most of the food is donated. Toni started in a 2-car garage, and 41 years later, we're in a 180,000 square feet distribution centers, distributing 1 million pounds of food in and out each week. And before the big recession, that number was around 32 million Americans. Now it's hovering at 50 million Americans. So 1 in 6 are struggling with this issue. One misconception right there is, oh, I know what you do. You're getting a lot of food to homeless people. Yes, that's part of benefits from the food. But there's a huge number of people who have a roof over their heads and are just barely holding on, or living with family, or living in a garage, or living in a tent in a backyard, sort of marginally homeless, right? From that standpoint.
We want to remind you that we're here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on Call Tony Real Estate Radio here at KEIB AM 1150, The Patriot, where we're committed to bringing you tools for positive change. If you tuned in late and you'd like to go back and listen to the full show, please go to calltony.com. That's calltony.com and click on the prior shows link. You can always call us on our off-air number. Again, that's 888-309-9797. That's 888-309-9797. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and friend us on Facebook. And as always, we want you to have a magical, magical weekend.